Hey guys, I haven't uploaded this channel in like forever. You guys probably most remember this channel as being called Sloppy Laughs back in the day, where I used to do prank videos. The reason I'm uploading today is I want us to talk about Vitali from Vitali ZDTV and my experience with the whole situation and my thoughts on it. I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to talk about this more so than most people who are talking about it on the internet, probably more so than 99.9% of them. Because Vitali and I were at one point friends and we used to make videos together, and we were even talking about being roommates at one point. The way that I met him was we both lived in Miami, and this was like right after he had done his zombie prank video. He met up with Roman Atwood. Those two were friends, and he was just starting to become famous. But it was before he went to Los Angeles and became super famous. And working in the film industry over the many years that I have, you meet a lot of people who, their goal is to be famous someday, be a celebrity and be in movies and do this and that and the other. And Vitali is literally the only person I've ever met who actually succeeded and accomplished and did everything he said he was going to do. In a way, he kind of reminds me of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, this guy from overseas who comes to America. He kind of looks a little bit like him. He's kind of muscly. He became famous. But he's like the modern day Arnold Schwarzenegger, And they obviously went down two completely different paths. And when I knew Vitali, I knew him before he went off the deep end. I would describe him as actually a very nice guy. He did a lot to like teach me about YouTube and help me out with stuff, way more than like he stood to gain. He was just doing it to be a nice guy. And in person, he's like much different than what you see in the videos. Like, he's just kind of like soft spoken and just a super nice guy is all I could describe him as. It's crazy. Whenever the camera turns on, he just turns into this maniac. But I feel like, everybody's, hating on him right now, and rightfully so. But I also feel like he's kind of, he got chewed up and spit out by the social media system. I feel like he was like the first like real prankster, and it like this character arc that he's had, and now when we come to the end of his story, potentially, it's an ending like I never saw coming, and I'm really sad to see. And I think, it's funny because after Vitali became super famous, like I was jealous of his life. As I'm sure, who wouldn't be, right? Probably most of the people hating on him are hating on him because they're just jealous of the guy. And I feel like, if I gave you my honest, like 5 people that I would most want to have their lives, like Vitali would be in the top 3. Anyone who says differently, I just can't, I don't understand why they would say differently, because to me, he's famous, he's good looking, he's young, he's rich, he's got a lot of influence and power, he's friends with celebrities, he, drives an amazing car, like everything somebody could want, he has. And it's weird, the irony of the story is like now, I imagined he would probably want to trade places with me. It's just weird how life does that. Life throws curveballs that you don't see coming, It's funny, like at one point I was sleeping on a friend's couch because I had nowhere to stay. And then like fast forward a couple of years, he's sleeping on my couch because he had nowhere to stay. Like it's just, what I've learned is like when someone's staying on your couch, like treat them very nicely, because it's only like, one curveball away that you find yourself sleeping on their couch. And I bring all this up because this potential ending of Vitali's story is just so crazy. And I really hope it's not the end. I hope he figures his way out of this. I imagine if I'm betting, I think he's going to surprise all of us and he's going to find a way out of this. And I just think, I wonder what is going through his mind right now. It's crazy, right? And I think another thought that occurs to me right now, like if anybody is aware of the butterfly effect, probably most people have seen the movie or they know what the concept is, right? If you don't know, it's basically like if I went back in time and I like squished a mosquito and came back to the present day, like the entire world would be different based on that, something that seems very insignificant, right? Because it's like the butterfly effect is a butterfly flapping its wings could like cause a hurricane on the other side of the world. Like there's something so small could cause such drastic effects. So I would go as far as to say, like it's like this thought has crossed my mind. Like if Vitali and I had never met, I wonder like maybe that would be a different timeline where none of this is even happening to him right now. So it's weird. Like the day that I went out to meet him for the first time, like if I had just changed my mind and said no, like I wonder like that if that timeline ended with this crazy ending to it. I don't know, but Vitaly and I haven't spoken in years, you know, and I don't even have his phone number anymore, and I wonder like if we did talk now, I would just ask him like, what was it like being at the top, you know, and I would ask him this with the camera off because anytime I've met a YouTuber or somebody famous and we talked like off camera, like you get a completely different story out of them than they're gonna say obviously on camera. So it's just like this man, like I can't even wrap my mind around what it would be like to have the life that he had. It seems so exciting. I got some taste of it with my YouTube success, you know, with Fuzzy Puppet and whatnot. I mean, I'm famous with kids. Like if you talk about Fuzzy Puppet, nobody knows that that's me, but uh, it doesn't really have the same effect when it's kids, you know, because I would much rather be famous with, you know, people that are actually, you know, more on my cognitive level. But anyhow, uh, I started a new channel now about veganism. And if anybody watching, you know, has no idea what veganism is or is really against it or whatever, I would love for you to come over and just check out my channel because I use all the knowledge I have of literally everything, and I'm trying to make the most entertaining videos possible. I've paused the channel. I haven't started making videos again since like a year ago, but I'm going to start up again now. And so check it out. The channel, if you search on YouTube, it's just like the @ symbol and then the word veganism with no letters or numbers after it. I literally have the name veganism. So but to search a username on YouTube, you have to put the @ symbol in front of it. So put the @ symbol and then veganism and you'll find my channel. And I might also just put the link down in the description. So if you want to see my latest content, that's what I'm doing these days. But yeah, my fingers are crossed that Vitali like sees his way through this, and maybe he and I, who knows, we talk again someday, and who knows, maybe he even sees this video. But I learned a lot from him. I feel like being Russian, you know, coming to the United States, kind of like I say, he reminds me of Arnold Schwarzenegger in that like his work ethic is just so amazing. I remember he used to we'd be working together and he'd tell me like walk faster. Like Americans are so slow, you know. We when I lived in Los Angeles, we had a saying out there. It's if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late, you're fired. And when I used to live in LA, you know, when I worked in the film industry, you'd work all day on a set. You'd start out like 6 in the morning. You'd work till like 1 o'clock in the morning. And then they would tell you to like be back there the next day, standing there dressed, ready to go, fully refreshed, ready to work at exactly 6 a.m. the next day. So you had like 5 hours to get home, take a shower, sleep, take care of whatever, get dressed, wake up again, and be always standing there again. It was crazy. But LA, man, people are just, you know, their work ethic is insane. I live in Florida now, and in Florida, it's so funny. It's like I've worked with people where I'm like, okay, tomorrow, 9 a.m., I want you here. We're filming a video. All right, sounds good. Okay, 9 a.m. Yes. Not 9:01, not 9:05, not 8:59. Well, 8:59 is fine, but I want you standing there no later than 9 a.m. Okay, 9 a.m. Got it. Next day, 9 a.m., they're nowhere to be found. 9:30, nowhere to be found. 10 o'clock, you get a phone call. Yeah, hey man, we still doing this thing today? I'm not even shitting you. Like, if you live in Florida, you know what I'm talking about. It's just insane. People are just very flaky here. So, the reason I mentioned that is just like with Vitali, okay, I'll give you an example of one thing I learned from him. We would go out, we'd film a video, and it was not faked. It was all real. And we would not get good reactions, let's say. So he drove down all the way from, he was like an hour and a half north of me. We'd meet up, we'd go out, we'd film all day, there were, lunch and props and this and that. Like we did the whole rigmarole, right? We'd come back, we'd watch the footage, and he'd say, "It's not good enough. You gotta shoot it again." And it's crazy because most people who do YouTube or most people who do anything in life are like, it's good enough. I'll put it up. Not Vitali. He just keeps shooting for as long as it takes till he gets good reactions, even if it's like 3-4 days worth of shooting. Now, when you watch his videos, you would never know that from watching them. You just think he did it once and that's the reactions he got. And again, it's not faked. It's just that he does it enough times that he gets what he's looking for. I think that's the work ethic. Good enough is never good enough. He just pushes himself further and further. And to me, it's just so sad to see like this path that he's gone down. So, yeah, I guess those are my thoughts. I guess one more. I have one more thought. For those of you who like watched my content before on Sloppy Laughs, and you saw like the documentary I made about meeting him or whatever, and my interview I did with him, I wonder if anyone's mind, like if it crossed their mind, like I wonder what that guy's take is on this, Brandon. I wonder what Brandon has to say about this. Well, now you know. So whatever you guys have to say, write it down below. I'll check it out. But follow me over on my veganism channel. That's where I'm going to mainly be making content now.